Hey guys, it's Aaron. Today is Friday, May 17th? Yep, May 17th, 2013, and you're watching 5 Awesome Musicians. If you couldn't tell what music that was playing at the beginning of the video, it was the theme from Star Trek, originally written by Alexander Courage, but this version was the version arranged for the 2009 Star Trek film by the great film composer Michael Giacchino, who is wonderful and has great music coming out. We featured the music of Star Trek today because the film came out this week, and Andre and myself and some friends saw it in IMAX 3D, and it was awesome. Definitely go see it. I really have no bad things to say about it. Definitely go see Star Trek. If you can see it in IMAX 3D, definitely worth the 16 bucks. Well, maybe not quite worth the 16 bucks, but go see it. For the first time since we've started 5 Awesome Musicians, it has not been that busy of a week for me, so I have a few things to say. I graduated last Sunday. I am now a Master of Music, apparently. That's what they tell me. So my week has been sort of lax and fun and relaxing, which is very nice. Also, The Office ended yesterday. Very lovely series finale. Shed a tear. You know, series finales are interesting beasts. Andre and I were talking about it earlier. I always feel like the Will and Grace series finale was kind of really heart-tugging, and I don't know. It was kind of sad. The Friends series finale I thought was very good. Seinfeld series finale was brilliant. The Office was very bittersweet and quite lovely. So I guess my question for the musicians and for our viewers this week is, what has been your favorite TV series finale and why? Other than that, this week we had auditions for Evil Dead the Musical, which is about zombies at the Station Theater, which prompted Chris's audition and his questions, which I have some answers for. Let's see. Chris, first question, should you sing a song that you've sung on stage in a role before? And this is all coming from the perspective of a music director, someone on the other side, not an auditionee. And I say, yeah, if you've done it on stage, that's no problem. Why not? It's in your canon, you know it, it's polished, you have an interpretation. I think go ahead. If you've done the song in context, absolutely, no problem. Second question, do you ad-lib in an audition or not? I agree with a lot of what JB said, that you shouldn't ad-lib because we want to see that you can do it on the page. We want to see that you can do what's written on the page, and I do agree with that. However, I think that if the song lends itself to some ad-libbing, I think that's also fine, because a lot of the times what's strictly written on the page is a little vague, either too vague or too straight, and then it doesn't sound quite in the style of the song. So for instance, Chris, your song Santa Fe, since there is a little bit of improv, I think it's totally fine to do a little bit of ad-libbing at the audition, because that's the style of the song. It also gives us a good sense of whether or not you're able to know what the composer intended and extrapolate on that, as long as you use the page for a home. So I think that in a few circumstances it's okay to ad-lib or riff a little bit in an audition, but make sure that you follow the roadmap that the composer gave you, because what the composer wrote is what it should be. So always use that as your guide. Third question, about doing a song from a cliched musicals. In general, a rule of thumb is to try to avoid shows that are, I guess, cliched or currently in the mainstream. So avoiding Wicked until, if 25 years from now Wicked falls out of political or popular favor, and then sure, do it. But things like Les Mis and Phantom, I would try to stay away from. And I think with auditions, a good rule of thumb is sort of like defensive driving. Always assume that everyone else is an idiot and you're the smartest person, to try to navigate your way on the road. Assume that everyone else is going to sing the cliche song, so you should be the one to not sing a cliche. My good friend Molly was participating in a masterclass at Porchlight Musical Theater in Chicago, which is a terrific musical theater company in Chicago, and they were having a masterclass and discussion with Lonnie Price, who was in the original cast of Sometimes Merrily We Roll Along, and also has done a lot of directing and a lot of concert versions as well. And he said 2 composers that he'd wish he'd heard more of in auditions are Jerry Herman, who wrote Mame and Hello Dolly and La Cage aux Folles, and Cole Porter, who wrote a huge canon of shows and songs. So I would say assume everyone else is going to do the cliche song, and then you, or the song from a cliched show, and then you be one to do your research and find another song that is great, a good audition song, but it's also musically satisfying for you. So that's a long answer to a short question. The fourth question you asked, Chris, is what do you do with your hands, or do you perform like you're in a recital or you're performing the role? And I would say you should do whatever you feel most comfortable doing. If it's, sitting like this at like your recital, you're performing in a recital, fine. If it's staring at one point in the ceiling, fine. Not in the ceiling, but across the room, you know what I mean? That's fine. I would say at least first in the initial audition, we want to see whatever you need to do that makes you sound the best. So being relaxed, however you want to perform that gives you the most confidence, do that. And to your question, JB, you kind of stay down around here when you audition, and you use your hands effectively. I've never been distracted by your hands. There's a joke in there somewhere. So that's good. Good for you, JB. And then the fifth question that Chris asked, what's your favorite audition song? And you know what? I've heard a lot of audition songs, and I don't really think I have a favorite. But I can say I like it when people are creative and they go outside the box. When it's clear they've done their research and they know the song and the story behind it. It's very obvious. It's very obvious when someone's auditioning if they know the song and if they know the context of the characters and if they know the background of the show versus, oh, I just found this in my singer's anthology, I'll just sing this. I'd say with every audition, make sure you know the show, you're familiar with it, you've listened to the whole score, you see how your character develops, because you give a lot better of a performance and a much more interesting performance if you know where everything stands in the context. I also enjoy audition pieces where I don't know them, where I don't know the songs, or I'm unfamiliar with the composer. I think that's fine as long as it's a good performance. That's what we're looking for the most. And if I've found a bunch of new songs because people brought them into auditions. I'd never heard them before, and I think it's terrific. JB, I don't think I have any funny audience stories. I apologize. I guess the audiences I've been in are kind of boring. I don't know. Well, I've been rambling a lot for this video so far, so I'm going to sign off. Don't forget, Saturday, tomorrow, is Andre's birthday. Don't forget to wish him a happy birthday and buy him a CD on that extensive list of upcoming CDs. Listen to Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. It is a terrific soundtrack and a great overture. Go see Star Trek also, and have a lovely week. I will see you next week, where I will be in Chicago on Friday, back at home seeing a concert. And so some exciting things coming up, and I will talk to you then. Have a great week.